Match analysis of the final of IPL 2025, RCB versus PBKS. It's been a long time since we've seen either team at the final, both teams looking for their first cup. We have on the show again a return guest, Pranav Savla, a fan favorite among many. Welcome back, Pranav.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here for you're analyzing something as historic as this will be.
Yeah, a first-time winner for the first time since 2022. The time before that it was 2016. So it'll be a breath of fresh air to get a new winner this time around. Pranav, you're an RCB fan. After 2016, quite a lot of heartbreak. Even in 2016, thoughts.
Uh, I can't even. I mean, this IPL season, in some ways, to be honest, has been even better than 2016 because if you remember in 16, we sort of scraped through to the playoffs. But I feel like RCB has won almost every game with authority this year.
Yeah.
And it's just a muddle of feelings because when you're a fan of a franchise for this long, uh, you've seen multiple playoffs, we make it to the playoffs most years, more years than we don't.
Yeah.
Um, and we managed to we've got to the finals a fair few times. Uh, it's hard to it's hard to consider that there might be a final that we might lose again. But
Mm.
to be honest, this year it looks so much different compared to uh, so many times that RCB has played, where you've seen that the team has had a very mixed season in most years. We've had either a very good start or a very good end, but then the middle of the season it falls away. It's flaky. This year it's looked
Mm.
completely different. I think our RCB has looked um, authoritative throughout the entire season. But see, that's the thing about Punjab Kings as well. I really cannot tell you which of these teams will win the final tomorrow. It is that close.
Yeah, and I think one thing I noticed was very special about RCB this year is, as someone watching from the outside, it's the fact that the games that they have lost, they've not lost it in a very pathetic manner. I mean, I use that word a little bit harshly, but I think apart from the SRH game, there's no game where they've lost by a huge margin. Games that they should have been losing, like the game against Punjab Kings, they gave them a run for their money at Bangalore, having scored just 92 on the board,
Oh,
and it's
definitely.
brilliant to watch.
Definitely, and I agree with your use of the word pathetic. I would say it has been the history of RCB is that the team chokes under pressure. In some cases, it's either very good under pressure. We've seen that last year. We saw that with the setup after the first half of the season, or it struggles under pressure. I go back to 2017 where they were 49 all out. Actually, there wasn't too much pressure there either. Um,
Mm.
this year it's looked much less like they've given the game away. And even the SRH game, the margin was huge only because the total was huge. Um,
Mm.
and I feel like that kind of a batting collapse is always something you can allow a team to have one
Mm.
of in a season where there's 14, 15, 16 games that they play. It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
We saw it happening with Gujarat Titans last year. They had one game where they got all out before 100.
Yeah.
We saw it happening with the Punjab Kings once or twice. But the fact that the teams still pick themselves up after that makes them is what makes them great teams.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of things that make people great teams, both teams are coming in with a captain who's definitely overperformed, I feel, compared to expectations. On one end, Shreyas Iyer, yes, expectations were high, but I don't think as many analysts were pitching Punjab to get to the playoffs. Nobody was expecting them to come to the finals. I mean, Shreyas Iyer, he's gotten three different franchises to finals, and two of which he was a major part of building from the ground up: Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings. And similarly with Rajat Patidar being handed a new squad and bringing him to the final is incredible.
I think it just goes to show you the Gen board captaincy that we've seen throughout this entire IPL with all the setups. Out of if we are to look at these four teams, out of these four teams, three teams have had captains under the age of 25, 26.
Yeah.
Young captains, right? But the interesting thing is all of these captains have been very calculated and they have been very confident. I
Mm.
would definitely say Shreyas Iyer is the better batter among the two. I feel like Rajat Patidar has flaked off a bit. He will, of course, pick up a lot of confidence from the way he closed out that match against the Punjab Kings with the bat. I think that six in itself would have given him a lot of confidence. He's not been not out for a while now.
Mm.
But Shreyas Iyer definitely looks the better batter. But my God, I gotta tell you, I'm in love with the way Rajat Patidar plays his bowlers, the way he
Mm.
circulates through his bowlers, uses Suyash Sharma through the middle overs, finishes off Bhuvi in the first few overs, and then uses the last few overs for Hazelwood, sprinkling Krunal Pandya in between. And even when he had Jacob Bethel, I think he used Bethel to
Mm.
good, he put Bethel to good use. So I think both of these captains are very, very well matched. So I would say that Iyer, my gut says that Iyer is feeling a bit more confident, especially
Mm.
because
Mm.
he's just done this last year, and the way
Yeah.
that KKR decimated Sunrisers Hyderabad last year in the finals would definitely give him that confidence. He knows what the situation is like. Um, but it's really not enough to swing it one way.
Yeah, I think, and I find it a little bit ironic that this is a sort of rematch, I would say, of the Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy final. Mumbai versus Madhya Pradesh, Rajat Patidar captaining on one side. Of course, Shreyas Iyer wasn't the captain of the Mumbai team, but he was the vice captain under Rahane, and of course that came Mumbai came up on top. So there's a little bit of a grudge I feel to for Rajat Patidar to get back a trophy from Shreyas Iyer.
I feel there is a lot. There is a little grudge there. There is the fact that if you look at both of these teams in the IPL, I'll bring up a very interesting stat for you, actually. Um, it is that both of these teams are evenly matched in terms of
Mm.
games won against each other. They
Yeah.
have played 36, both have won 18. Um, so there is the factor of him, wanting to one up the Punjab Kings. It's been a very even the last few years it's been a very close matchup. And
Yeah.
don't forget the RCB fan base. It is something you
Mm.
cannot forget at all in a situation like this. They are very supportive. I think, interestingly enough, I would not call them the most toxic fan base at all. Um, they stick with their captain. They've believed in Patidar. They've stuck with him, and so that is a group that he would want to do this for as well, because uh, a new captain, new squad. Suddenly this year there was this belief. To be honest, if you've watched the fan base at all,
Mhm.
you've seen a almost toward the end of this a calm intensity. If I were to put this, you're
Yeah,
not hearing like you would normally hear in the playoffs. You're not hearing the Salah
yeah,
Cup Namde everywhere this year. People are
yeah.
keeping their fingers crossed, but then you can bet your bottom dollar that internally there's a lot of hope that's riding on this.
Punjab and RCB have had their fair share, and it's time that one of them proved the trolls wrong and got the better of the other. And there's no shame in losing this final. I'm going to be very honest with you. Both teams have done incredibly well in the league. To
Hmm.
get 19 points in an IPL season, that yes, there was a washed out match which they could have won. Most years, 18 is enough for a first place finish, and 17 is usually second or third.
Hmm.
Getting 19 points in an IPL season is incredible. RCB have had an untouched away record. I'm not counting the
Yes.
game against SRS because there was supposed to be a home game. The only team to do it. Punjab Kings have beaten MI. Mumbai Indians in the playoffs cannot be understated. their abilities cannot be understated as a team who's won 5 trophies.
Like both of these teams have looked like all-round sides, and this is
Hmm.
something I'd mentioned in our video when we talked about the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
When you look down the squad and you cannot pinpoint the one player of the match or the player of the
Hmm.
tournament, when you've got so many contenders and so many different people who have won the player of the match. I think that shows you the ensemble cast and the way that a true squad has been built. Because in this case,
Hmm.
it's not just the classic RCB where they've relied on one or two players.
Hmm.
I would the only thing I would say is RCB currently does, and a lot of RCB fans are going to hate me for saying this. There is one weak link in this RCB squad, and that is Liam Livingston. Um, he needs to find something in this final here, because it's not been happening so far. It's not been working. And if you're not going to make Liam Livingston bowl, then it doesn't make sense to have him in the squad. I don't think they're going to remove him because of consistency, and general trend is you don't want to touch a squad before the finals, but I would rather have him out. But if he's not, that is the only one weak link I can see. But to be honest, it's one position out of I mean, even in terms of batting, it's one position out of the batting lineup that goes down to number 8, right?
Hmm.
With
Yeah.
Krunal Pandya, Romario Shepherd coming in. Um, Even if he doesn't, the players around him overcompensate for that.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about a weak link. I don't think this is a real weak link for RCB, but it's been a crucial, I feel like it's been a spot where at times they've struggled with a little bit when they've lost Josh Hazelwood. Josh Hazelwood is
Yes,
available today, but if he has a
yes.
bad day tomorrow, like Bumrah did for MI, for a long time, MI's bowling weaknesses were covered up by the fact that Bumrah was bowling at an economy of 6. The
Hmm.
games that RCB lost Josh Hazelwood, I'm not saying that Nuwan Tushara didn't bowl well or Lungi Ngidi didn't bowl well, but the games that they lost him, they were scrambling for overs. Uh,
Yes.
I and they were just bringing on Suya Sharma out of nowhere. They were bringing on the pace back on the ball. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was bowling out of nowhere in the middle overs. They were scrambling a lot. So it's a crucial point for RCB. If Josh Hazelwood has a bad day tomorrow, they're in a really dangerous spot.
I think part of this is also to do with the different captaincy styles. We saw Jitesh Sharma captaining for 2 games, and I am more confident in Patidar's bowling switching. He's handled a situation like this a little better before. But as you said, it definitely is a spot of trouble for them. Then the pressure on Bhuvi and more so Yash Dayal, because Bhuvneshwar Kumar is not a middle and death over bowler, but Yash
Mm.
Dayal can technically, if he does as well as he's been doing, um, sort of start try to compensate for a bad day for Hazelwood, Hazelwood with a few overs. But remember, Yash Dayal has got his own demons to bury.
Yeah,
Uh,
in that ground, in that very ground.
in that very ground, in fact. Um, and pressure is a funny thing. It can bring back memories. No matter how many times he's bowled these death overs before, he's done this year many times. He's bowled crucial death overs. He's done it against the Chennai Super Kings twice. In since May 2024. No matter how much that happens, getting hit for 30 runs in one over and coming
Mm.
back to the same ground to play a final. If the situation comes down to it, where Punjab are chasing, or it's a last over. He's got the ball in the last over. This could get a little messy. He will have to hold his cool, and Hazelwood potentially having a bad day or even a niggle, because remember Hazelwood is
Mhm.
someone who has been prone to injury in the
Yeah.
past. Um, so Hazelwood picking up a niggle and having to walk off in the middle of the field, middle of the match, that's going to cost Yash Dayal more than anyone, I feel.
Yeah.
Is going to put a lot of pressure on Yash Dayal. And unless managed well, this could turn out bad. But if Yashdal is able to pull this off, then I think it could be compensated for.
Yeah. And I think I'm obviously talking about the weakness of RCB's bowling, but I think RCB are slightly better off when compared to the bowling of Punjab Kings in terms of overall performance and dependability, if that's a word.
Mhm.
Because Punjab Kings have one frontline bowler who's Arshdeep Singh, who's had bad days throughout the season. He's a quality bowler, obviously. He's done brilliant things for India at the T20 World Cup. But apart from that, Kyle Jamieson hasn't really had a great time since he's come into the squad. Obviously, a brilliant spell against Mumbai. Yuzvendra Chahal is obviously the second main bowler, but on a pitch like Ahmedabad, he doesn't really get a lot of support. And then they've had to play Omar Zai because Xavier Bartlett is injured. So that's been a significant weakness for them, especially that fifth bowler after Marco Janssens had to go.
I would be wary of two people for RC if I were RCB. I would be wary of Arshdeep Singh, especially if I were Phil Salt. Um,
Mm,
I would be wary of Arshdeep Singh. His strike rate has dropped against Arshdeep Singh, and I would be wary of Chahal if I were anyone from RCB except for Rajat Patidar, because he
mm,
seems to be playing spin exceptionally well. The reason I'm worried about is in interestingly, the bowler who has taken the most number of wickets against RCB is
mm.
none other than Chahal. He's got 28 wickets.
Yeah, he's the same bowler who's taking the most wickets for RCB.
For RCB. And
Yeah,
remember that Chahal has not left the squad very long back.
yeah.
He left them in 2022. So he's taken a boatload of wickets against them. And the top few batters, they struggle against spin. Kohli he's become better, but he's still spin it's something he'd rather not play. Patikal has had mixed results. And the only person in that squad who might not be threatened by Chahal is definitely Rajat Patidar. Now
Mm,
the thing about this bowling is on paper, going by past results, technically speaking, Royal Challengers Bangalore have a more balanced bowling attack.
mm,
But I would say if the black soil is to be played on tomorrow, uh, count Punjab out at your own peril because they've got, in my opinion, the more experienced spin attack compared to RCB. RCB definitely have Suyash. They've got a lot of talent there. Krunal Pandya has bowled quite well. You've seen Suyash Sharma. He's a breakout bowler. He's come in and bowled really really well this year with a lot of maturity. But I think you cannot discount both Chahal and Harpreet Brar.
yeah, I mean, irrespective of which, we've talked about Punjab's bowling, but I think a main player in Punjab's batting is Shreyas Iyer. Uh, Pranav, do you want to have a shot at what Shreyas Iyer's IPL average at Ahmedabad is?
IPL average.
At Ahmedabad in the three games that he's played.
I'm sure it would be above 50. I know he's had some great breakout scores. I am going to guess 59.
It's 224. He's not been dismissed
224.
in the IPL. He's never been dismissed at Ahmedabad so far. He's the highest scoring non-GT player over the last 3 years.
And I'll tell you something about Shreyas Iyer. He is he's going to come into this game not thinking about that at all because that is his maturity level.
Yeah. It was abundantly clear the way that he carried the game against Mumbai. There was a point at which it looked like Mumbai were running away with the game, and then that Reece Topley over came. After that, the momentum never shifted to Mumbai. They tried everything. They tried all their cards. They bowled Bumrah, Hardik came in and bowled. Then they bowled everybody, but the momentum never shifted towards Mumbai, and that's only because Shreyas Iyer was batting the way that he was. Every time you thought that okay, Mumbai are slightly ahead on the run rate, he did a four or six, and then Punjab are back in the game. It was incredible to watch.
Shreyas Iyer this year, and correct me if I'm wrong on this number, he's had a strike rate consistently over 150.
Yeah.
Okay. He's had, in fact, if I remember my stats correctly, I don't have that particular stat in front of me right now, but if I remember my stats correctly, Shreyas Iyer has a strike rate of 170. In all of his innings that he's played this IPL, Shreyas Iyer has had a very high strike rate. And
Yeah,
what does that show you? It shows you, and it's not just a high strike rate. His average this entire year is 54. His average is 54 throughout all of his games. It shows you that Shreyas Iyer is a player with impeccable game sense. But also the ability to go fearless. This 2 points here. First of all, we get back to the fact that Shreyas Iyer has had a lot of experience in finals.
yeah,
He's been in finals before. He knows how to keep his cool, not lose his nerves, both in the IPL and in the Champions Trophy. I was very impressed by the way he played in the Champions Trophy final. It shows that game sense, it shows the presence of mind that he has. That is the first thing. And the second thing is, I also think that Shreyas Iyer is able to play the way that he is, partly because of the consistency of the people around him
mm,
in that batting
yeah,
order. It's not just Shreyas Iyer. It's a two-way thing, right? That
mm,
entire batting order allows Shreyas Iyer to play the way that he does. And Shreyas Iyer also allows the other people in that entire top order to top to middle order to play the way that they do. The top five the top four players in this um, in this IPL have all had over 300 runs. Consider the fact that it's Shreyas Iyer is that main spearhead, but it's like a sledgehammer that's being dropped on any team that's playing against them.
mm,
Because to be honest, in the top, not even the top four, the top six, the top seven, everyone has performed, everyone is at the peak of their form. There's no weak link,
yeah,
there's no one struggling in that batting lineup.
yeah,
And everyone is scoring at strike rates of over 140, 150. Um, I think there's only one player, I think it's Josh Inglis, who's batting at a strike rate of 150. The others are all going at 170.
yeah. And I think a point to add on that is not only the fact that Shreyas Iyer has been incredible with the bat, it's the Midas touch that this man has had over the last year. He's won the Champions Trophy, like you said. He's won the Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy. He's won the Ranji Trophy. He's won the Irani Cup. Anything he touches has been turning to gold for the last 1 year, and it's been incredible. I mean, at the IPL 2024, starting from there, leading up to the Champions Trophy, it's just been a gold rush for him.
Yeah, of course, definitely. He is someone who's had a breakout pretty young. We saw Shreyas Iyer in the IPL. He's also, remember, he's an IPL, but he is an IPL veteran. He's grown through.
Mm,
Shreyas Iyer has come through the IPL to the Indian ranks. He's one
yeah,
of the. The IPL has grown Shreyas Iyer. He's one of those, right?
yeah,
If you remember, he was playing in the IPL as early as 2017.
mm,
Um, he's had he's had a lot of experience in the IPL. He's had a lot of experience in first class cricket. And here's the thing with Shreyas Iyer. He's one of the calmest leaders that you will find.
mm,
So he's got his intent, but he's also very calm about everything that he's doing on the field.
yeah,
So I think Shreyas Iyer is definitely out here for the taking. The way that he has led Punjab throughout this season, and the way that they themselves have played with intent, it shows that they are out here to win. It's come from the game one. If you remember, in game one, Shreyas Iyer came out and scored 97 to win that game for them,
mm, yeah,
right? So it's come from game one to allow that intent to win the tournament. So he's definitely
mm,
out here to win, and the IPL is the flagship one for him, right? This
yeah.
run started by winning the IPL 2024 trophy last year with KKR. Yeah,
We've talked about the crucial batsman from Punjab side, the crucial batsman from RCB side, the man who has been a part of the team from day one, who has had many offers along the way of his own account to change teams, but he stayed loyal. He's been with the club for 18 years.
and his
And
jersey
it's
number is 18.
His jersey number is 18. So it's sort of poetic that he is in the final.
I'll tell you
Uh,
something more poetic about this final as well. It's something that I figured out today. Tomorrow's date is 3rd of June 2025. Let's add those numbers 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5, and it gives you what would you expect but 18.
this seems an awful lot like what Dhoni fans do to say Talla for a reason.
I don't
Talla
want to do
baby
too much
Tuko
of
for a
it.
reason.
I don't want to do too much of it because I personally, I mean, I don't really believe too much in that. Right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think it is very poetic, and I'll tell you something. If Virat Kohli loses this one, I feel he's going to be crushed. Uh,
Mm.
because just like 2016, he has had, of course, not that high. I feel like that high is very hard to reach
Mm.
for
Yeah.
any batter, even Virat
Yeah.
Kohli himself again, right?
Yeah.
It is a record that's very hard to do. But as a season, as a normal season, he's fifth on the orange cap list.
Yeah.
He scored more than 600. He scored 614 runs. His
Yeah.
average is 55 this year.
Yeah.
In 55.81, he's average, and he scored like 8 half centuries.
It's very similar to the way, I mean, the way he reacted after the 2023 World Cup final.
Yeah.
Uh, it looked devastating, and for that to happen again in the same venue, we talked about battling ghosts, ghosts from the past and events from the past. If it happens again in the same venue, I don't think Virat Kohli will be willing to come back to Ahmedabad anytime soon.
I I would not be surprised if it happens again. If Kohli says, right, I'm gonna sit 1 year of the IPL out.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll retire completely.
Hmm.
Uh, but see, we have seen this year in the way that Kohli has dealt with his international cricket that as soon as he
Hmm. Hmm.
loses that spark, he's not going to continue playing,
Hmm.
right?
And it's very clear that he's prioritized the 2027 World Cup above everything else.
Above everything. So if this were to not work, I wouldn't be surprised if he sits it out. But equally, he's coming into this final probably with more intent than he has come into any final before this.
Yeah.
Um, and we all know what happens when Virat Kohli is put in a pressure situation or an intense
Yeah.
situation. He
Yeah.
just he comes alive. So I
Yeah.
would not be surprised if a lot of people have him at the top of their fantasy teams tomorrow.
Hmm.
I would definitely do that if I were in that position because he's and remember, Kohli's got a lot to prove. Again, we're talking about ghosts on this ground. This was the ground where Kohli was slowed down in 2023 by the Australian bowling lineup.
Yeah.
Um, if you remember, he the first 10 overs they absolutely bossed it, and then immediately after that, Kohli was slowed down by the Australian bowling lineup, and that slowdown and that choke on runs. He still believes, if you listen to his interviews, contributed to them losing that World Cup in that final. So he's got a lot to prove on this ground. I mean, I remember the game that had more viewership after the match, RCB versus LSG,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2023. The reason I remember that game is, Kohli was riled up, and
Hmm.
a big reason why they won that match was because of the belief that he injected into that fielding. Like there nothing to defend on that ground.
Yeah.
But then, because of the belief that he injected into that side, they ended up
Hmm.
winning that match. So,
And it's almost been like a personal vendetta for Kohli. Every time he plays LSG, it's like a monstrous performance that he puts up.
yes.
There's some energy on the field. There's that connection with LSG where he just goes in to decimate them.
I mean, it's come after they lost by 1 run in
Yeah,
2023 to
the
them.
run out of Harshal Patel. Oh my God.
Yes. That there are countless moments like this. For 2020 to 2022, Virat was written off by everyone.
Yeah.
So for him to come out there and be in that position, it was like an awakening for Virat Kohli. It's like
Hmm.
he's throwing out all that pain. So
Yeah.
it is bound to happen right now. Um, there's been some talk about him in tests. The few people online have also mentioned about how Virat is not closing out games like he used to. It's all going to add up, and I feel like this final we're going to have something special. There is a possibility.
Yeah, I think this final is definitely going to be special. It's going to be one in the history books. I think I'm
Yes.
very, very sure of that for either team, because it will be their first trophy. All said and done, Pranav, who are you giving the edge to tomorrow? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I wish I could. I cannot tell you. On the one hand, Shreyas Iyer is more experienced, but RCB looks a little deeper in terms of its batting lineup overall. RCB's bowling lineup looks more balanced and more talented, but rule Punjab's spin out at your own peril. Liam Livingston, but then also Josh Inglis, maybe not. It is a
Hmm.
it is an exact 50-50. If I were going on a platform, an opinion trading platform, I would not be surprised to see the prices of yes and no completely matched.
Yeah, I mean, I've never felt this conflicted about a final before. I mean, in previous years, you would know that okay, I mean, most years, right? I mean, the team that's won, they've beaten
Mm.
the other team at least 3 to 4 times before. I'm
Yeah.
reminded of CSK 2018 where they beat SRH all 4 times they played them,
Yeah.
uh, and KKR have beaten SRH and all of that, and both teams have met each other at very equal points here. Obviously, RCB have beaten Punjab twice at Mulanpur, but Punjab have also pantsed RCB pretty much in Bangalore. So both teams are extremely even.
And
And
again, go back to their, sorry to interrupt you, go back to that
yeah,
record.
yeah.
Both teams have
18-18, yeah.
exactly 18-18 on the
18
board.
again.
We get back to 18 again. Oh, whoops. No, but I will just say this. The only thing I feel like is tomorrow is going to be a good game of cricket.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out on top, I would say even the runner-up team, I would not say that they're a bad team. Tomorrow
Hmm.
we are going to watch a game of cricket that will be in the history books.
Yeah.
And I
Uh,
feel like it's for more reasons than just the teams that are playing it.
Yeah. And Pranav, before we conclude, can you give me five fantasy picks, five players that you think the viewers should pick in their fantasy team?
Virat Kohli for sure, Shreyas Iyer, those two are definites. I would I would definitely still go with Josh Hazelwood in this squad. I would go with Yuzvendra Chahal, and depending on what you want to make of this, you want an extra bowler or you want an extra batter. It's either Shashank Singh, I think he's a very interesting one, or I would go with Suyash Sharma. Given the, if it's going to spin, Suyash Sharma could be very, very valuable.
And you've taken all the obvious picks away from me now, Pranav. So I'm
What
gonna
would
have
be
a little bit of a
yours?
difficult time. I have to choose players that are different from you, obviously. So
Of course.
uh, this is not necessarily in the priority order that I feel. Josh Inglis is someone I want to take. Never discount an Aussie in a final, in any
Mhm.
final. Uh, Arshdeep Singh, the frontline bowler for Punjab Kings. Then from RCB, Krunal Pandya definitely. He finds a way to contribute to the team.
Mm.
I would go with Phil Salt because last couple of games the ball hasn't really been swinging. It's been coming onto the bat very well, so he can have a really big impact in the power play. Apart from that, maybe Marcus Stoinis again for the same reason as is why I picked Josh Inglis. Never discount an Aussie in a final, and also the fact that he's experienced. He's played tons of cricket. He's under the coaching of Ponting, so I think
Hmm.
Marcus Stoinis will have an impact. And the final player is probably going to be Yash Dayal. I think push comes to shove, he's the bowler who's going to come out there and be the attacking bowler. He's going to come in and try and pick wickets. So those are my five.
Yash
We
Dayal
have
could
10
very well
players.
make the difference.
Yeah. Teammates even for a while, Krunal Pandya and Marcus Stoinis. So they'll
Oh
know each
yeah.
other pretty well. They
Oh
played quite a bit of
yes.
cricket at LFG.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that was the analysis. I hope the viewers enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Put down below who you think's gonna win the IPL final. Is it Isala Cup Namde, or will Punjab finally win the final?
Will Punjab finally
Having
put some lassi to cool down that stadium tomorrow?
Yeah, I think the large part of the crowd is going to be an RCB, are going to be RCB fans. So another
Yeah.
silence of Ahmedabad is the question. So yeah, thank you for watching, Pranav. It was a delight talking cricket with you again. It's always fun when we talk.
Pleasure is mine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you just send me the thing. I'll